Now let us learn the differences between suspension and colloids. Suspension is unstable, means if you take this is stable here. If it is kept like this, it is unstable. So here they are unstable. The components can be separated from the mixer process. Another point in the suspension is suspensions are heterogeneous mixture, means like kerosene and water, heterogeneous mixture. In the previous video we have learnt this is water and this is kerosene oil. Now particles of suspensions can be seen with naked eyes. In the suspension, particles we can see with naked eye. The particles of suspensions scatter a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. See, in the previous video we have taken the lemonade and we started using the torchlight. Whether the path is visible or not, that we have observed it. Next, another one is the solute particles. Here, solute means which is less in quantity and solvent is more in quantity. In a given solution we have discussed. The solute particles settle down when suspension is kept in undisturbed. When the particles settle down, it does not scatter light anymore. Here, light will not be scattered here. In colloidal solution, the components cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of the filtration or decantation. After sedimentation, if you leave it undisturbed and clear solution to be poured, that is what we are calling it as decantation. Next here, centrifugation. This technique we are using to separate the cream from the milk. Technique is used in separation. Colloids are heterogeneous mixture. Here suspensions also heterogeneous, colloids also heterogeneous. The size of particles of colloids are too small to be seen by naked eye. We cannot see with our naked eye. We can observe under the microscope. If you take the milk particles which are there in glass of water, if you add drop-wise milk to this, if you observe these under the microscope, you can able to see clearly the milk particles. The particles of colloids are big enough to scatter a beam of light passing through it which make its path visible. Visible means which we can able to see with our naked eye. The particles do not settle down when the colloid left undisturbed. Colloid is quite stable. Here suspensions are unstable, means colloids are stable. Separating different materials. Two or three materials are means if you take rice, which is mixed up rice grains mixed up with mudstones, hand picking process. Dhanyam, paddy, ginjalu, whenever they are there in the rice grains, we want to use the hand picking. And if the sand and the iron filings are mixed in a china dish, then we are using that bar magnet. Next, if the water is having some sort of impurities, by using the filtration process, we can able to separate the impurities from that. And at home, when your mother makes the tea, decoction will be separated, or the tea solution will be separated from tea leaves and all. By using the filter, like this we are using the filter, which is having the network, small holes. So here we are able to find the leaves will be separated, stuck here, and then the decoction or the coffee or tea will be settled at the bottom. In the same manner, here some of the chemical substances, when they got mixed up, in what way we can separate them, some techniques are there. Here, if we take ammonium chloride means NH4Cl. NH4Cl is the ammonium chloride formula, and NaCl is the formula for common salt. Common salt formula is NaCl and ammonium chloride. These two, if they got mixed up, how can you separate? For that, a small example, normally if we take ice, which is in the solid state, water, which is in the liquid state, Next here, if you start heating this water, it changes into gaseous state, water vapor like this. But here, solid changes on heating into liquid, liquid changes into gaseous state on heating. But here there is no middle state for certain substances. Solid directly changes into gaseous state. For that, some examples we have discussed in the earlier class. Example 1 is camphor. Karpuram. Camphor means karpuram. The moment when you keep it in a small spoon and if you light it, solid directly changes into gaseous state. There will be no liquid state. Another example is odonil, which we are using for refreshing our washrooms and all. There if you keep a slab of odonil in the packet which is having small holes, if you leave that whatever the plastic paper, you are able to find the slab slowly reduces into smaller piece and after few days later you may not find the slab in the cover. Have you ever observed it? Next, another one is the naphthalene baths. Directly the solid changes into gaseous state. We cannot find naphthalene liquid. Directly they evaporate when we are keeping them in the woolen clothes. Here also ammonium chloride and sodium chloride mixture if you take, sublimation one process is there, sublimation. In this sublimation, directly the solid substance changes into gaseous state and after cooling, gaseous state changes into solid state. That is what sublimation. Here if you take the mixture of ammonium chloride and sodium chloride mixture in a China dish. This is what China dish, this part is called a China dish, which is the mixture of ammonium chloride and sodium chloride. And by using a Bunsen burner, if you start heating, the ammonium chloride which is there in the solid state, it vaporizes and the vapors are moving in this direction. This is the glass funnel. This is what? Glass funnel, Garatu. And just above that we are keeping one wet cotton plug. Wet cotton plug. When the vapors are going in upward direction because of cotton plug, again they cool down and these vapors they will settle here in the form of solid. So here ammonium chloride solid crystal solid is changed into vapors on heating and those vapors they will be again solidified and they will be just, you can observe it in the inner walls of the funnel. This is what the process called sublimation. We are using this evaporation technique. If the salt is getting mixed with water to separate the water from the salt, we are using. Otherwise here let us take one beaker placed on a tripod stand and this is what we can say. This one has Bunsen burner and the water which is strongly heated with the Bunsen burner gets evaporated and above this glass beaker take a watch glass. This is what watch glass. Watch glass and some ink you just keep it here. Ink drops you keep it here. Ink is a mixture of DYE dye and water. One or two colors and water will be there in the ink. When you start boiling the water, this ink vaporizes. Here you are able to find the vapors of water from the ink comes out by leaving the stain of ink here. This is what evaporation process. Evaporation process. This is paper chromatography. Paper chromatography. Where we are using the paper chromatography. Sometimes just look into your book once. Here paper chromatography. This is the glass beaker. Paper chromatography. Once you read that and tell me where we can use the technique. This is what the pencil, sharp edged pencil, and with the help of cello tape we can attach one of the marker, this is the filter paper, and marker line. With the help of pen you can keep the marker line, and here make sure that the tip of this paper should be dipped into the water, and slowly from here onwards the water rises in upward direction and this color it spreads. You can do this experiment even with the chalk piece. At home you can do it. This is what separating funnel. We are using this for separating oil from water. Oil from water. Kerosene oil or coconut oil and water, that mixture we are calling it as immiscible liquids. Both are immiscible liquids. When they both get mixed up, you can pour that mixture in a separating funnel. This is what the separating funnel. It is having the lid like this, dome shaped lid, and here it is having the stop cock like a tap you can operate. Next, here if you place a beaker and if you open the stop cock, slowly the water which is there in the lower place slowly trickles down. Water trickles down. When the layer between this water and the kerosene oil, here when it comes to this level, you can able to stop the cock. So oil will be left behind in the kerosene oil or any oil if you take, that will be left behind and water will be collected in the beaker. So in this way you can separate the kerosene oil from water. The paper chromatography technique we are using for separation of mixtures into individual components. Separation of mixtures into individual components we can use. Next, we can also use it for colored pigments which are there in to separate the colored pigments from plants and flowers. We are using the same technique. Two miscible liquids. If you take the mixture of water and alcohol, mixture of water and alcohol C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol. Those two comes under miscible liquids. You cannot separate alcohol by using any this process. We have to go for only distillation process only. Distillation process. Here separation of two miscible liquids by distillation. Let us take one retard stand, and this is the burner, Bunsen burner. Next, this is a mixture of water and acetone. So here instead of taking ethyl alcohol, they have taken the acetone and water mixture. These two are mixed thoroughly. You cannot separate the oil and water. Next, here there is a thermometer which is inserted by using a cork here. And here this is what actually Liebig's condenser we can say. When the acetone and water mixture is heated with the Bunsen burner, the vapors they are coming out like this. And temperature will be recorded in the thermometer. When the vapors are coming in this direction, they are very hot. They will be cooled down because here through water inlet means water will be pumped into this, ice cold water will be pumped into this. When the vapors are passing through this, they will be cooled down. They will be cooled down before they reaches to this. So these vapors which are in the gaseous state, they will come to the liquid state. Here acetone is having less boiling point than water. That is what that acetone vapors are moving in this direction. They will be cooled and comes to the liquid state, and they will be collected in the beaker which is kept here. So this is what the distillation process we can say. 100 degrees boiling point for water. H1 boiling point is less than water. That is what first it evaporates, and then the vapors are passing through this condenser. They will be cooled down, and then they will be liquefied and collected in the beaker. The difference is there between normal distillation and fractional distillation. If the boiling point is less than 25 degrees Celsius, then we can use this fractional distillation. Fractional distillation. If the boiling point is greater than 25 degrees, we can go for distillation process. Here, once again, let us take one retard stand. This is the tripod stand and this is the burner. With the help of this Bunsen burner, we can take the mixer in this particular container, distillation flask, the mixture of two substances which are having the difference of boiling point less than 25 degrees will be taken here. And this is what the cylindrical structure here to here. This one we are calling it as fractionating column. This is the round bottom flask. And with the help of clamp, this fractionating column will be attached to the round bottom flask with the help of a car. And with the help of another car, we can install one of the thermometer. And here there is an outlet pipe which is connected to the Liebig's condenser. And here water outlet. Here water outlet. Through this water will be sent into this condenser. And here water condenser. Here to here, this is what Liebig's condenser or water condenser we can say. And when the low boiling point substance gets evaporated when it is heated, it is reaching to this area and then passing through this Liebig's condenser. Those vapors will be cooled down and they will be collected. Here pure liquid component will be collected in the conical flask. Here this is what the conical flask which we are taking in the other end of the discharge tube. So this is what relevant to the fractional distillation. Differences between mixers and compounds. Elements or compounds just mixed together to form a mixer. No new compound is formed. Here in a mixer, if you take air is a mixer of gases. Air is a mixer of gases. For example, in that nearly nitrogen 78% it will be there, and oxygen 21% and carbon dioxide 0.03% will be there. But these gases they will not combine when they were there in the air. Even many gases, helium, argon, neon, krypton, these are all will be there, they will never combine. Chemically they will never combine. Physically they will be mixed together, that's all. A mixer has a variable composition. See, sometimes the dust particles or water vapor which is there in the air, it may be less in Anakapalli, it may be more in some other area. So here in a mixer, variable composition of components we are able to find. A mixer shows the properties of the constituent substances. Whatever the components which are present inside, basing on that it will show the property. And the constituents can be separated fairly easily by physical methods like magnetic separation or any filtration or decantation. These are all the physical processes, not chemical process. We can use some physical methods to separate the different components in a mixer. If you take